Welcome to Sports Central. We're back at the Manchester Velodrome for more track cycling, this time from Revolution 23. Again, we'll be dedicating 2 shows to the event. Next week, we'll have the Future Stars and the Endurance Women. That means that this week we've got the Endurance Men and the Women's Sprinters. Now, you'll be finding out all about the races they'll be competing in. But before we go to that, let's just recap quickly on Revolution 22.
Chris Hoy sweeps the track behind. He's like a missile, Chris Hoy. He just locks on his target. David Daniel uses the track. Ian Dyer, the sprint coach, tells him to hang it high. Chris Hoy now gets the acceleration, and he lights it now. Chris Hoy in the back straight. Look at the acceleration of the Olympic champion as he comes over the top. They're level. Chris Hoy comes through, and Chris Hoy takes it.
We've got a fantastic show for you today. Revolution 22, as you've just seen, we had the king of cycling. Revolution 23, we've got the queen of cycling. Victoria Pendleton returns to the event as women's sprinting makes its first appearance this season. Martin, tell us about the sprint Omnium that Vicky and her competitors will be racing in.
Well, Vicky's going to get plenty of opportunities tonight to show her speed in front of the home crowd. 5 rounds. Time trials over 200 metres, 500 metres, individual sprint, and of course my favourite, the KEIRIN. How an Omnium works, it's a multi-event competition held across the whole night. Points are scored throughout each race, but it's the rider that finishes the night with the least amount of points that's deemed the winner, so the highest consistent places throughout each event. Now, Vicky's obviously the favourite, but there's plenty of young riders once again that are going to be wanting to show their stuff in front of a big Manchester crowd. Anna Blythe really looking like she's coming back into some form, but Jess Varnish and Becky James, the 2 youngsters, are also here. And we also have an international. We have the Spaniard Helena Cathath as well, so it's going to be an exciting competition. Well, I'm sure the Sprint Omnium will be a crowd pleaser, especially with Victoria Pendleton racing. Now, she doesn't appear very often at the Revolution, thus providing a rare opportunity to see her perform on her home territory. She doesn't, but when she does, she steps up for the occasion. She loves a big crowd. She always puts on a show. She sets the crowd on fire, and they love it when she comes back. Well, shall we catch up with Victoria to get her personal feelings on racing at the Revolution in front of a home crowd? Let's do that. So what's it like being back in front of your home crowd?
It's awesome. I mean, it's so lovely to have such a big crowd here earlier and just really giving fantastic support. But, I mean, I really enjoy it, but I've had the opportunity to be part of it before. And for me, I think it's really special for the youngsters coming through because obviously when I was their age, we never had anything as spectacular to be involved with, and it would have been really inspirational and I think really motivated me to push harder and sort of reach sort of the higher level.
Now, I hope that you're ready for a great reception because the crowd, they're going to want to welcome you back from the Olympics, the Revolution crowd that is, and also receiving your MBE.
Absolutely. I mean, it was an amazing honour obviously to have an MBE. I wasn't feeling very hopeful that we would receive one. I knew that gold medalists in the past had, but I thought there were so many of us, I wondered whether it wouldn't be exclusive enough this year to sort of to offer an MBE, so it was really fantastic. And for Chris to be knighted, I mean, we're all joking about next time we see him whether we're going to have to curtsy or something before we speak to him.
Victoria Pendleton featured in the Queen's New Year's Honours list, receiving an MBE. Another female cyclist in the list was Sarah Story, and she is now an OBE. Now, she's racing at Revolution 23, and you'll see her in action next week with the Endurance Women. And that takes us quite nicely onto our next category of riders, the Elite Endurance Men. One could say that we have a cycling MBE rollout in the men's endurance racing at Revolution 23. The event welcomes new members of the British Empire, Ed Clancy, Geraint Thomas and Jason Kenny. Martin, tell us about the men's endurance programme.
Well, before I go to that, I've got to comment on the New Year's Honours list, and who would have thought Sir Chris Hoy behind us on the right. And we'd never have realised a year ago that cycling would be getting this kind of recognition. In terms of the endurance men, I think those youngsters are going to be out to do that new initial at the end of their name some justice tonight. That MBE, very, very important for them. As we always have at Revolution, we've got a kaleidoscope of endurance events with that crowd favourite, the 1 kilometre Madison time trial. Ed Clancy and Stephen Burke are getting closer and closer to the record every time. 54.666 is the record, and they were 0.2 off it last time. And we've got Arnold Tournam with that little devilish beard behind him, and he holds the record with Sir Chris on our right.
Do you think Ed Clancy and Stephen Burke will get the record?
I can, but I think it's that 666 that held them back. I think the Devil might have been wearing Lycra last time to prevent them from getting to it.
You might be right there, Martin. Now, the Madison Time Trial will see Ed Clancy and Stephen Burke out to continue their domination. However, can a surprise pairing spoil the party? Now, Ed Clancy and Stephen Burke have dominated the Madison Time Trial so far. Are you going to show them who's boss?
I don't know. I think we're going all right. It's just we've only done one change before, so it could be good to watch. It might be a little crash or something, but I think anything could happen, to be honest.
How many times have you done the handsling?
Well, I've done them a few times when I was younger in the talent team and things, but this is obviously going to be a little bit quicker, and it was like 4 years ago, so we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully you never forget.
Who knows what's going to happen, and that's the exciting thing about cycling. Now let's go to Revolution 23, starting with the endurance men.
10 laps to go now. All of the eliminations are gone. Geraint Thomas off the front now, looks round, he sees he's got a gap. Number 2, the power of the Olympic Team Pursuit champion. Geraint Thomas now has got a gap. You cannot let Geraint Thomas get this kind of gap. Geraint Thomas now, 2 riders chasing behind. It's all over the track. 1 kilometre to go. Oh, Andy Tennant is down. Andy Tennant is down, he's crashed coming into that turn. He gets the bell this time. The chase behind is coming from Alex Dowser and Stephen Burke. Still, Geraint Thomas, he's tying a little bit. As they come in towards the finish, it's going to come too late. Geraint Thomas, what an incredible ride. The Devil's Scratch goes to Geraint Thomas.
Pretty surprised, to be honest. Just come back from Mallorca training, so just here to hide in the wheels, really, not try too hard, and then I just attacked just for a laugh, really, you know, see what could happen, and yeah, I just ended up just going for it, pursuing for the line. So
they get the whistle for the first sprint. It's Burke on the front. Here comes Newton over the top. On the inside, Stephen Burke, Chris Newton go mano a mano for the first sprint. Stephen Burke now accelerates into the home straight. Burke takes it. Chris Newton takes second. There goes Newton over the top. Doesn't want to leave it to chance this time. He gets the whistle. The man in black, Newton, now accelerates over the top. He's got Tom Murray on his wheel. Murray latches onto the wheel of Newton. Here comes the former world champion. The Rafa Condor rider crosses that. Newton takes that. This is what happened in the first race. They gave Geraint Thomas a very small gap, and they just never brought him back. 2 sprints remaining. They could win this one if they can go all the way to the finish. Thomas and Kenyik. It's Newton on the front of the bunch, but Kenyik now leading Thomas in the back straight. Are they going to fight it out for the sprint? Behind in the bunch, it's Chris Newton that's leading the chase, but Geraint Thomas now looks across. Kenyik decides he wants the points, comes over the top of Geraint Thomas. 500 metres to go, 2 laps remaining. Chris Newton getting the perfect lead out now. Here comes Rob Hales over the top. The big man, the British road race champion, is going to come over the top now. Hales takes up the sprint with Kenyik on his wheel. Newton finds a gap, punches a hole through. Chris Newton on the wheel of Rob Hales with Peter Kenyik and Luke Rowe with Alex Dowsett trying to get on terms. Hales and Newton. Kenyik comes over the top and he comes through and takes it. Kenyik pipped him on the line, but it wasn't enough. Chris Newton takes the points race.
I made it difficult for myself tonight because I've got a World Cup coming up, so I give myself a bigger gear to ride on, so it's harder to accelerate and to pick the pace up, and to sprint had to really use more strength, so hopefully it's just a bit of a training effect for next week.
We pick up the action at Heat 4. Andy Fenn and Luke Rowe currently in the lead with a time of 59.726 seconds.
Chris Newton reaches back for Rob Hales, big hand sling, and he slows Rob Hales, the Halfords Bike Hut rider, into the action. Rob Hales looking quick, he's looking like he's on form now, is Rob Hales. Hales will grab the centre of the bars. Newton reaches back, looks nice fast change, big hand sling. Rob Hales throws Chris Newton into the action, and Chris Newton is looking very, very good. He gets the bell this time. He goes through. 43.054 Chris Newton. He's got to accelerate all the way to the line. Chris Newton and Rob Hales, they're going to set the new fast time. Their record's not in danger, but Chris Newton, 57.584.
Out here in the fields.
A new pairing. We have one of the top endurance track riders in the world, matched with one of the top sprinters in the world. Now this could be a pairing that could challenge that record. Geraint Thomas and Jason Kenny. Geraint Thomas slinks Jason Kenny in now. The big burly sprinter drops down. Here we go. Jason Kenny now accelerating around the bottom of the track. 54.549 is the record. Jason Kenny now. Look at the speed of the sprinter around the bottom of the track. And they are faster, 12.828. They're 0.6 off the record. Now, Geraint Thomas looking for the change. Jason Kenny grabs the centre of the bars. They've got to get it right. Jason Kenny grabs the hand of Geraint Thomas. Geraint Thomas, perfect hand sling by Jason Kenny. Can they challenge the record? And they are very, very close. They're 0.5. Geraint Thomas now accelerating. They get the bell this time. Geraint Thomas, they are up. We have seen a record-breaking ride. Can he hold it all the way to the finish? Geraint Thomas comes up towards the line. Stops the clock. 55.339. They are just outside. And what an exceptional ride nonetheless. 55.339 is the time to beat. They were 0.6 off the record. Now, Stephen Burke now thrown into the action. He gets the gun. Look at the speed of Stephen Burke. Big acceleration by the Olympic medalist. This young man has such a bright future ahead of him, and he is on fire now. Stephen Burke now lights the touch paper. He powers. They are slightly down at the moment. 13.150 for the opening lap. Stephen Burke looks for the change with Ed Clancy. Times it right on that finish line. Ed Clancy now accelerating. They are just fractionally outside at the moment. It's going to be a big ride by Ed Clancy. If he's going to break the record or take this 1 kilometre Madison time trial, the crowd are on their feet. They are faster. Ed Clancy is pushing the record close. Can they break the record of Chris Hoy and Arnold Turnon? Ed Clancy comes to the line. 54.572. And they are fractionally outside once again. Will that record ever fall?
So when are you going to get the record?
Hopefully next time. It'll be the last time this year, so hopefully we can get it next time out.
Good way to see the revolution out.
Oh, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Yeah. It seems to be a bit of a crowd favourite, so it'd be a nice way to end the series of revolutions for this winter. Yeah.
Did you see how close some of those races were? Well, after the break, we've got the women's sprint OMNIUM, and I can guarantee that that will be even closer. And we get to see Victoria Pendleton. See you after the break.
Luke Rowe now leading out for Peter Kenyon. Comes over the top. Geraint Thomas in third place. Luke Rowe, perfect lead out. He's going to go for a long one. He's leading out Peter Kenyon. Geraint Thomas in third place. Alex Dowsett well up there. Here comes Ed Clancy over the top now. Luke Rowe, here comes Peter Kenyon. Ed Clancy trying to come over the top. Kenyon low on the track. Here comes the big man in the red, white and blue. Look at that by Ed Clancy. Coming through, Stephen Burke trying to get on terms, but Ed Clancy takes the men's 10-kilometre scratch race and shows how it's done.
Feeling pretty bad out on the road, and I don't know, unfortunately I've just seemed to have almost got better during the night, and it was a nice way to finish off the evening for me.
We pick up the action at Heat 5 with Becky James currently in the lead with a time of 11.82 seconds.
She's pure explosive energy, and Anna Blythe now kicks it round the bottom of the track, starts the clock on that 200-metre line. Got a great acceleration into the back straight, supremely smooth is Anna Blythe into the final turn. She's got 11.006 to challenge, and she stops the clock, 11.652. But now winding it up round the top of the track, wearing the rainbow jersey as the world's sprint champion. She's the Olympic individual sprint champion as well. Vicky Pendleton now, she has that second kick in the back straight. She's looking very, very smooth as Vicky Pendleton comes round towards the line, comes up and stops the clock. 11.258. First blood to Vicky Pendleton in the women's Omnium. And Becky James tries to drop in on the inside. Anna Blythe accelerates. James uses the track once again. Swings up the home straight. Drops down into the banking. Now Anna Blythe kicks into the back straight out of the saddle. Shoulder to shoulder now. Anna Blythe hanging it low on the track. Becky James trying to come over the top. And Anna Blythe takes Heat 1 in the women's sprint. Cassath now swings up. What has Helen Scott got in the legs? These two riders at the moment, they look quite equal. Oh, Scott just throws Cassath just a little flick. Great technique by her, great skill. Helen Scott now powering into the final turn, and she looks like she's got the measure of the Spaniard, and she has. Right, little shoulders down. Helen Scott takes a victory over Helena Cassath of Spain. Great ride by the young Brit. The world champion hanging it a little bit higher than Varnish. Jess has got to anticipate the jump of Pendleton, and she does. Jess Varnish now accelerates. Pendleton hangs it high, uses that banking to get her speed. Here goes Vicky Pendleton over the top. Jess Varnish has got no answer for her. Vicky Pendleton kicks over the top, comes around and takes a comfortable victory over Jess Varnish. Now they hear the bell. Helen Scott swings up, gives herself a little bit of the banking. Anna Blythe now very, very high on the tap. She's going to drop in like a hawk. Anna Blythe sees Helen Scott in front of her. Look at that. Anna Blythe used the track to perfection now. Gets on terms with Scott. And that's how you use the track. Anna Blythe powers over the top. Shows the youngster how it's done. Comes through. And the victory there goes to Anna Blythe. They hear the bell. Cassath, she's going to have to accelerate now. Drops in. Pendleton now on the front. Winds it up. Is Cassath even going to get on the wheel of Vicky Pendleton? Pendleton now looking around at the Spaniard. Here comes the Spaniard. She's going to get the run. And as I said, she had to be on the wheel. She's not even going to get on terms with Vicky Pendleton. Pendleton looks it round. No challenge whatsoever from the Spaniard. And an easy victory there for Vicky Pendleton. Becky James and Jess Varnish. Now, Varnish holds it low on the track. Becky James trying to come over the top. Varnish now accelerates. These two riders quite equally matched at the moment. Varnish, very similar style to Vicky Pendleton. That second kick in the back straight, and she looks like she's going to hold it, and she does. Jess Varnish takes it from Becky James. They just pull themselves back in the gate and explode out of the start. Helen Scott and Becky James now. They'll set the benchmark for everyone else to beat at the moment. Becky James just marginally in the lead. Helen Scott, they come round to their starting positions. They get the bell this time. They're very, very close. And it's Becky James just marginally in the lead at the moment. Becky James now accelerating, half a lap to go. Who has got the better endurance over the second lap? Helen Scott comes round to the starting position and they cross the line. And Helen Scott takes that one. pulls herself back in the bike and launches herself out of the gate. Cathath in the back straight, just looking a little bit inexperienced this evening, and she's quicker at the moment on the opening lap. Cathath now down into that time trial position. Varnish, the sprinter, just favouring the normal handlebars, the standard position on the bike. Varnish leading now, half a lap to go, and they're very equally matched here. Cathath coming into the back straight, Varnish into the home straight. They come up to their positions. Varnish takes it. Throw themselves out of the start gate. Pendleton now, it's all about speed with her. Anna Blythe, pure power. Let's see their opening half lap sprints. Anna Blythe now marginally quicker at the moment for Anna Blythe. They come up to their start positions. Pendleton now into her stride, and she is 19.926 for Pendleton. Anna Blythe 20.082, and Pendleton just marginally in the lead at the moment. They come up to the line. Pendleton now comes up to the line. She stops the clock. Pendleton 35.095 to take the victory. Anna Blythe takes second, 35.600. Good time by Anna Blythe, but Vicky Pendleton takes another victory here at Revolution 23.
Say I'm the one you want. If you don't, you'll be alone.
The Derny will pull off in the back straight. Becky James on the back of the bike. She's got that front position. She's looking around, trying to see the shadows, looking for the jump of the riders behind, but she's got a little gap, and she looks like she's going to just make a move. It's be a good point now for Becky James to attack from the front, because with Vicky Pendleton in there, it's going to be a big effort to try and beat Anna Blythe. Now goes, chased by Helen Scott. Pendleton sees the danger and is straight on them. Becky James trying to stay on the wheel of Helen Scott. They get the bell this time. Where is Pendleton? Pendleton comes over the top. Blythe on the front. Here comes Victoria Pendleton. Blythe will see the white flash, and over the top she comes. Look at the difference in speed between the queen of British track cycling. Vicky Pendleton comes over the top and takes it by about 20 metres. Big respect. Vicky Pendleton takes the victory in the KEIRIN and shows just why she is the best in the world.
People have come to support me, and I really want to show what I have to offer on the track and really, I don't know, impress them, and I don't know.
So Vicky, everything's happening so fast. Do you sometimes sit down and think, I'm Olympic, Commonwealth and World Champion?
No, I don't. I need more time to sit and think about that. That's my New Year's resolution will involve, sitting down and being, giving myself a pat on the back for doing so well.
So more Vicky time?
Absolutely, more Vicky time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for Sports Central, but you can join me at the same time, same place next week for more track cycling from Revolution 23. We've got the endurance women and the Future Stars racing, so see you then.